Tonight's about living from the heart. How do you live from the heart rather than your mind? And if you live from your heart rather than your mind, aren't you going to screw things up and make poor decisions? I hear from some of you who really put yourself out there to make courageous, bold moves towards living from the heart, and then sometimes things don't work out quite like you thought. Maybe you've made a big move, such as leaving a long time successful career that you perhaps invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in education into developing skill to be a doctor or a pharmacist or a lawyer. And then maybe you worked many decades in that field, and then suddenly begin to have this spiritual awakening and realize, wow, this is not really what I'm here to do. Oh my goodness, what do I do now? And so some of you have even made a hard right out of those fields and skills and talents into something completely different that was more aligned with your heart. And now you're struggling to pay the bills because of it. So I just want to say help is on the way. Judah says help is on the way. Help is on the way. There's more help coming to you even now during this session tonight. And we still support you in these moves towards aligning with your heart and with high consciousness. And we say you don't have to be a starving artist. That's a terrible phrase. We hate that phrase, starving artist. It's a phrase that's meant to insinuate that if you do what you love, if you do what you're passionate about, if you do what you're put on the earth to do, you're going to starve because of it. And we say stuff and nonsense, stuff and nonsense, stuff and nonsense. Okay, good. So I hope Judah's going to give us help around this tonight. So how do you stay connected to your heart? How do you speak from your heart? How do you act from your heart? What is the role of the heart in your spiritual life and in the process of enlightenment? And how can you protect your heart in today's world? So those are some of the things we're going to talk about. And Jeffrey sent over a message. He said, what if we all knew that everything, even the spaces, the empty spaces, had the spark of divine heart? And is there, and he mentioned just some words, heart list of words. And I love the words he mentioned: love, compassion, joy, peace, abundance. And so one of the things that's been on my heart as I prepared for today is this, and this is always on my heart. So I'm going to open up the window to my own personal thing here. And it's that there's lots of words that I could say, that Judah can say, or anybody else could say. They might sound smart or clever, or they might be helpful, they may not. But what's on my heart always is that you have an experience, that what we do here in the Judah family goes beyond words. When you hang up on this event that we're doing here in a little while, what matters to me is that something happens in your everyday life, in the room, in the car, where you're sitting right now, where you experience the presence of the divine. And you experience it to such a degree that it changes you, it reveals to you more of who you are, and that you're free, and that you're living your dreams, and that you're living as a spark of source in the earth. So that's what matters to me, is experience. All right, so let's dive in, and we're going to let Judah channel. Okay, let's talk about the heart. Heart, right in the center of your chest. If you are in a safe location, we want to encourage you to begin to drop into a meditative state. You might have heard us say this before: drop into a meditative state. What do we mean by that? What we mean by that is allow your mind to go for a swim in your heart. Allow your mind to descend down into your heart. Allow it to go be completely submerged in the heart. Come into your heart center. And so if you're in a safe space, relax your body, relax your mind. Let your eyes go out of focus. And you may even put a finger or a hand over your heart. the center here, not your physical heart, but the center of your energy center right here. And as you do so, connect. Now, some of you have already been asking. There is a question here printed out, the vessel brought to this meeting. How can I act more from my heart center? How can I begin to move the heart chakra and live from this energy? Well, here's a very simple way. Simply lay your hand on your heart. Very simple, not complicated. When you do this, you begin to drop out of your thoughts and your mind and into your heart chakra area. All right, let's talk about this center, this energy center. This is the first center. If you have, and you likely have been, a student of the chakra system, these are simply old terms for energy, propulsion, energy, centers that turn in the body. Have you wondered why Sufis turn when they dance? It is because they are firing their energy centers. They are lighting their energy centers. They are getting the body in motion. You see, the body needs to do two things. It needs to rest and it needs to be in motion. It needs to rest and it needs to be in motion. And there's some of you, your bodies are very, very, very busy, always in motion, but your energy centers are stagnant. They are some of them, have things stuck in them, like a stick or a limb caught in a turbine. We want to remove some of those things for you tonight. Yes, and anytime. Here is answer number 2 for the lovely question about how do I live from the heart. Anytime something is rising for you in the way of your emotion that you don't want, something like anger, frustration, sadness, grief, guilt, shame, anything like that, then you simply use that. That is your opportunity. That's the stick in the turbine. And you use the arising of that thing to set yourself free. It is an opportunity. Yes. And it can be ever so simple. Simply touching your heart and saying, Judah, Source, please, will you remove this obstacle? It's arising for a reason. It's an indicator, a pointing to something that's misaligned, either inside of you or outside of you, with your soul's desire and purpose, with the perfection of your soul. And so you can simply reach in and pull the stick out, in a sense. And if you're not sure of the root or so on, where it came from whom, when, who's to blame, you see, there is this whole, this can be a place where, you could get stuck in psychology or therapy. There is a lot of good therapy going on out there, we would say, and it is a part of our desire to begin to enlighten therapists and counselors and so on. But you could simply just rummage around in the trash and not get rid of the stick stuck in your turbine. So don't dig around too much. We would say don't dig around too much, especially if you're not getting some relief. But simply say, Judah, can you please remove whatever this is that's causing your discomfort? Because you see, angels and source energy know where the original wound are. Many times not in this life. So you could spend a lot of time in therapy and still not get to the root issue if it's from a past life or perhaps many past lives. Sometimes, though, becoming a conqueror over the issue in a current life is enough to unseat the old. Okay, so let's move on here. The heart being the bridge between the lower chakras, energy centers, and the higher. So in truth, if you're one of those, this vessel meets many of you who want to channel, you want to hear from angels, you'd like to see them, you would like to have your spiritual eyes and ears opened, you would like to have more high-level conscious experiences In the unseen realm, perhaps you would like to engage in astral travel or many other desires you might have. And she hears you say, when, Judah? How about now? How about yesterday or last week? And what we would say to you is this: when you fully embody every tiny bit of your heart center, then all of these things, all of these gifts that you're desiring will come easily, and they will flow. They will flow, they will flow, they will flow. For in truth, all of these gifts, these higher gifts, the throat chakra, meaning you're speaking your truth, or we would say not even your truth. It is when you begin speaking truly from your throat chakra, when that energy is alive and spinning, it is not your truth you're speaking, it is God's truth that you are speaking. And you are becoming a spokesman for source energy. And you say, well, if I'm becoming a spokesperson for source, why is this vessel speaking for Judah? You're just an angels, Judah. How about, why wouldn't she just speak from source? Well, well, we are the express image of source, as are you. And so for this one to speak for us is, yes, her channeling source, of course. Source, of course. Yes. So now back to and these gifts. So if, my dears, you can come into an enlightenment of the heart, then all of these gifts will open up to you in short order, and your messages will be the messages of source, whether they be spoken or written or enacted or painted or however you may express yourself. And your visions, your thoughts, your mind will become a higher mind, a mind of wisdom. Yes. Good. So I'll just go to a few of these notes here that I had. So our heart chakra is the bridge for between our lower chakras, which are the places where we want to be rooted and grounded and human. It's our human centers. Our lower centers are human centers, and our higher centers, which are our heavenly centers. So we want to be, if have you ever heard people say the old phrase, he's so heavenly minded, he's no earthly good? You ever heard that one? Well, that can happen when we're doing a lot of work or putting a lot of effort into opening up our higher spiritual gifts, but we're not also giving attention to being grounded in our lower chakras below the heart center. And so those lower chakras aren't lower in the sense of lesser. In America, particularly, we're such a performance-driven culture. When we think of lower, we think of lesser, not as good, and higher is better. Well, that's not necessarily so in this case. So these lower centers are our human centers. And we need those in order to be appropriately human and rooted in the earth and doing what we're here to do, which is to have a human experience. And then our higher centers are our spiritual centers, our heavenly centers that help us connect with the unseen realm and with our eternal soul. So the heart is the bridge in between. It's the most important in that sense. So maybe for some of you, if you're frustrated because you aren't having these high-level experiences, maybe bring your attention back into your heart for a while, into your heart chakra, and see what happens there. You see, so I wrote down here that the heart chakra is the throne of God. Yes, it is the throne of God. Yes, you see, many of you, especially if you have a religious context, you think of the throne of God as some mystical, exquisite, golden chair somewhere out there in the stars. It is not, my dear. The throne of God is your heart. It is your heart. Yes, this is where God resides, is seated. And we will tell this again. Some of you have heard it already, but what happens when you're born into this life? God is enthroned in the center of your being, in your heart. But many around you, and the culture and the circumstance and the parents and the teachers and all the conditioning teaches you to stop acting from the heart and use your mind. Use your mind instead. And you're rewarded with good grades and an allowance or whatever else. Other rewards come to you, praise, pats on the back, approval, and acceptance if you operate from your mind. And so this goes on and on for a while until your mind begins to think it's in charge, much like, as we have shared before, if you imagine your life, your human existence, your body as a castle, and your soul, the center of who you are, is the king in that castle. And your soul, your heart center, is meant to rule and reign all that you are and say how things are to be, and to be the creator and the authority and so on. And if this heart part of you, this kingly part of you, has been subjugated, suppressed, pushed down, and conditioned, and the mind has begun to take the throne, so to speak, it is like an unruly or wicked servant that has taken over the kingdom. And so you must be patient, but you must be courageous as well, and bold, and you must begin to unseat the mind and bring your heart back into the center, and bring your heart back into authority. Certainly, absolutely, yes. And so then your mind must come back into its rightful place, which is to serve the heart, to serve the heart. Good. So I jotted down here that diseases below the heart center are issues with our lower energies and emotions. Yes. So if you're having trouble with, let's say, really painful periods, or your liver, or any kind of center organ below your heart chakra, those can be where you need more. They spiritually indicate more shadow work needed, or more work for freedom and release from emotionally. Do you have anything to share on that? No? And if you're dealing with diseases above the heart center, like your thyroid or your ears or your sinuses or those sorts of things, they can point to blockages in this heart area, so that the energy is not flowing the way it needs to flow up into your higher centers. All right. So a really common mistake that I see a lot in our spiritual work is that we're wanting to attain these really high-level spiritual experiences before we're ready for them. So I put in the bottom the links for you guys, this map of consciousness. If you don't already have one, I recommend that you kind of pull it out and spend some time with it. And the colors in it are correlated to the chakra centers. So if on a day-to-day basis, if your norm is to feel, let's say, sad, then you know you're not ready maybe to be a channeler or to have supernatural visions and dreams. You might have those. And sometimes that's a grace that comes to us, that we're given some experiences of bliss to keep us moving forward, to keep us on our path, especially when we're mucking it out in some of these harder places. But you want to really focus on getting solid in these places. The way that you heal all of these lower areas, the grief, the sadness, the fear, the guilt, the shame, is by coming into your heart chakra area. Now, we're going to actually do some work right now to come into your heart chakra area. We do a lot in our work here, this what we call, Judah calls a getting free game, which is an adaptation on the Sedona method, which has been around for many decades. And it's a really powerful tool to help you. You probably hear that word surrender a lot. Well, just surrender, let go. That used to drive me crazy when people would say, let go and let God. Well, how do you do that? How in the heck do you do it? And so this getting free game is a way you can actually do it. It's the actual doing of letting go and coming into surrender. And when you can let go of things, you can let go of your attachments to outcomes. And when you can begin to allow whatever's happening inside you or outside you to be what it is, to accept it as it is, to welcome everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. And when you do that, that's when you begin coming into your heart chakra center. So that's the evidence, right? That you're living from the heart and that this heart center is spinning. The evidence is you can welcome anything. You can welcome it all, dears. Welcome it all. You have space for whatever is. You accept it as it is. You don't need to change it. You don't need to fix it. And that includes yourself. You don't need to change or fix yourself. You're okay. You know everything is okay as it is. That's right. And so you'll hear us many times asking you this question: can you let go of wanting and needing X, Y, or Z? Can you let go of it? You see, when it is the attachment to an outcome or the expectation that creates the angst, the anger, the frustration that you feel. And it is, and these attachments, this desire for a thing, and expecting it to come to pass, you want a certain thing to be different than what it is, something other than what it is, because you think that when the thing becomes what you want it to be, then you will no longer suffer. You will no longer suffer lack or unhappiness. And so you see, you in the lower chakra areas beneath the heart, you can be invested in wanting a certain thing to be a certain way, and anticipating, expecting it to be so. And if you get particularly married to an outcome, then you will, when that thing does not come to pass, you will feel angry and frustrated. And these are the things that block your heart and your higher centers. Now, we have been sharing, we're going to go on a little bunny trail here, that for the next 18 months, there will be difficulties in America in particular. And this is related to the political scene is going to be very hot and very polarized, left and right, red and blue, very polarized, lots of division and rancor and so on. And so if you are attached to a particular outcome and expectation of how things should be, that your man or your woman should win, then you may find yourself being frequently upset and thrown off kilter. And this will keep you in these lower and denser energies of unhappiness. That is right. And so what we have been asking of you is to release your attachment to all outcomes. Now, don't hear what we didn't say. We didn't say not to vote. We did not say that. But what we are saying is, if you want to feel bad, watch the news. And if you want to feel even worse, then choose sides and get very upset if your side is not on the winning end, you see. So this is much likened to this. If you, let's say that you love soccer. You love soccer. You enjoy going and watching the game. You love all the aspects of it. It's fun for you. You like the hot dogs and the sodas and being with your friends and everything that happens. And it doesn't really matter to you whether the red team wins or the blue team wins. You're going to be okay with whatever because you're enjoying the experience, you see. And so this is a good place to be. This is the heart chakra area. You see, you're there, you're enjoying it, you understand, you're not taking anything too personally. You understand that all of this is a game. You understand there are forces, powers, much bigger than just the singular you, which are overseeing all things, and that those powers can be trusted. And so you can relax and be at ease and trust. Now, there are some who go to the game and they have a preference of which team should win, the red team or the blue team. And that is okay. They have a preference, but they're not so attached to it that it's going to ruin their day their month, their week, their year, their next 4 years if their team doesn't win, you see. And these have a preference, but they could also have dinner or coffee or have a beer after the game with someone from the other side of the team, and there would still be love flowing. You see, they're not attached to an outcome. But then there are others, you see, they're very attached to their team. They wear their team jersey. They hang their team flag outside. They post their flag in the window shield of their car. And anytime they get a chance, they're going to tell you how wonderful their team is and how terrible the other is. And they're so attached that they derive their sense of identity from their team. And so if their team loses, it's going to be a terrible day for them, and they are going to suffer miserably inside because of it. You see. And these are even lower and denser energies, further and further away from the heart, you see. And then there are the others who, and it is actually happened in many occasions in the United States, perhaps in other places, where someone is so married to their particular team that when their team loses, they have lost their minds and violently attacked or even killed opponents from the other team, you see. And so these obviously are very, very, very far away from their heart center. And they are living in darkness, a darkness of their own making, a hell of their own making, we will say. So we are using this political scene as an example here for living from the heart. So let's go back to it. How do you live from the heart? You love the red team and the blue team. You love everyone in the stand. You love the custodian who is cleaning the bathrooms during the game. You love the parking attendant. You love the children there. You love everyone there. And you love yourself. And you might have a preference, but you're not attached, you see. You're unattached. You're an unattached observer. And whatever happens in the outcome, you can be at rest and at peace, knowing that there are higher forces at work. No matter what the outcome is, you see. And you can apply this to any situation, you see. Living from the heart means accepting, forgiving, releasing. Now, this vessel's been here and there. Let's get back to the getting free game and let's play this game. We're going to teach you how, and you can use it anytime. And if you'd like our assistance, you can simply say, Judah, please send your angelic assistance, supernatural power and help as I attempt to get free. So something arises for you. Let's say you get, you look at your bank account and you're in the minus, in the red. Oh no, something has happened. What's gone wrong here? And it's triggering for you. You are upset. You've fallen into your emotional state of lack, those lower realms that we've been talking about. Your root chakra issue, this is a money issue, is in your root chakra. So how are you going to come into your heart? Here we go. Hand over your heart. Can I let go of wanting and needing to have money in the bank? And you simply answer yes or no. Yes or no. Not from your head, but from your heart. What's the truth? If the truth is you can't accept it, you can't accept not having money in the bank, it's unacceptable to you. If there's resistance there, go ahead and tell the truth. Say, no, I cannot accept it. So the secret to playing the game well is that you say yes or no, but you tell the truth from your heart with no narrative about it. Just a yes or no. And then you keep working on it. Can I let go of wanting and needing money in the bank? No. Can I let go of wanting and needing money in the bank? No. Can I let go of wanting and needing money in the bank? Well, yes. Can I let go of wanting and needing money in the bank? Yes. 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 And see, then you have energetically moved the situation, which then allows for the miracle, the answer, the provision to come. And you keep working on these issues. So 3 questions. Can I let go of wanting and needing to be safe? Can I let go of wanting and needing approval? And can I let go of wanting and needing control? And usually one of those 3 will address the issue for you. And you keep working on it till you feel yourself release it and let it go. You will feel your nose will get softer and softer and softer, and your yes will come. And it will come from your heart. And then you will know you have let it go. You have released it. And when you release it, we can take it. We can take it from you and begin to work a miracle on your behalf. We can begin to bring the provision or whatever other thing it is that is needed for you. We can, when you let it go, see, then you've released your desire, and you will find that our desire for you is even higher than what you can imagine. Yes. What we desire for you is much bigger than your desire for yourself and for those you love. So if you can release your desires and come into this neutral place, then all the higher energies are activated. And then you begin to connect with angels and source, and divine messages begin flowing through you, top down, top down, top down, right through your heart, all the way down to your feet. Yes. And so when you're struggling with angst of any kind, when you're struggling with those lower realms of consciousness, and you want to get into that green ray heart center in the 4 to 500s, and yes, the 3 to 500s, we will say, this is how you get there, through this little game. We like to call it getting free game. Good. Yes. Good.